Have you ever wondered why some people give and still seem to receive more? Not just money, but peace, clarity, provision, and others hold tightly to everything, yet still feel like it's not enough. It doesn't seem logical. Because from a human perspective, giving feels like losing. Letting go feels like risk. Keeping feels safe. But what if that way of thinking is incomplete? What if there is a deeper law at work? A spiritual one. A principle that most people hear but never truly understand. Welcome to Real Deep Understanding. Take a breath. Slow down. This is not just about money. This is about trust. Because how you handle money reveals what you believe. Not what you say, what you believe. And one of the most misunderstood principles is the law of giving. In The Blessed Life by Robert Morris, there is a powerful idea. Giving is not just generosity, it is positioning. It is aligning yourself with a flow that already exists. But most people miss this because they focus only on the surface. They see giving as loss. They see tithing as obligation. They see generosity as optional. And because of that, they never experience what it truly does. Because giving is not just about money leaving your hand, it is about what happens to your heart and what happens beyond what you can see. There is a passage many people know. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing. That sounds powerful, but also difficult to trust. Because it requires something first. Release. And that is where the struggle begins. Because holding feels natural, letting go feels unnatural. But here is the deeper truth. What you hold on to tightly can never multiply. It can only stay the same. But what you release can move, can grow, can be used for something beyond you. And this is the spiritual law most people miss. Giving is not subtraction. It is participation. Participation in something greater than yourself. Because when you give, you are saying something. You are saying, I trust beyond what I see. I am not controlled by what I have. My source is not limited to this. And that changes you. It breaks fear. It weakens attachment. It shifts your focus from holding to trusting, from scarcity to provision. But let's be honest. This is not easy, because everything around you says the opposite. Save more, keep more, protect more, and those things have their place. But when they come from fear, they create limitation, because fear closes your hands, and closed hands cannot receive. Think about that. If you are always holding on, where is the space for something new? Where is the room for increase? This is why giving is so powerful. Not because of the amount, but because of the posture. Open hands, open heart, open trust. And over time, this posture changes your life. You begin to see provision differently. You stop depending only on what you control. You begin to notice opportunities, connections, unexpected blessings, not always in the way you expect, but in ways that matter. And this is where many people misunderstand. Giving is not a transaction. It is not, I give, so I get. That mindset misses the point. Because the real reward is transformation. Freedom from fear. Freedom from greed. Freedom from constant worry. And that kind of freedom is priceless. But there is also something practical here. When you give consistently, you become intentional. You think differently about money. You prioritize differently. You become disciplined. And discipline always leads to growth. So even on a practical level, giving shapes your behavior. It aligns your life. It creates structure. And structure creates stability. Now step back for a moment. Look at your own life. When it comes to money, are your hands open or closed? Are you trusting or controlling? Are you giving intentionally or only when it feels comfortable? Because the answer to that reveals more than you think. It reveals your relationship with money. and your relationship with trust. Because in the end, this is not about losing money. It is about gaining perspective. It is about stepping into a different way of living, a way that is not driven by fear but by faith. And when you live that way, something changes. You stop chasing. You start trusting. You stop clinging. You start flowing, and your life becomes lighter, clearer, more aligned. So take a moment and reflect. What would it look like to truly trust in this area of your life? Not just in words, but in action. Because that is where the shift happens. If this message spoke to you, like the video, subscribe to Real Deep Understanding and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because this principle is often misunderstood. But once you understand it, you begin to live differently. And remember, what you keep stays. But what you release can multiply.